Hi everyone. Uh, my name is Abhishek and I'm the arts program coordinator and I teach visual arts at the Gateway School of Mumbai. Welcome to our webinar and workshop today. And this workshop is going to be based on creative expression through art and through movement. So today we are very privileged to have my fellow talented educators, Sara Kiesel from New York, Ridhika Shah, Sara D'Souza, Aditi Dalal, representing the movement, grandstand, music, and the drama disciplines which they work in. And in addition to these experts, it's our extreme privilege to have renowned artist Manish Nai join us on the panel today. All of these people represented each creative discipline and they are a part of the Gateway family. Today, they will be sharing insights and strategies and stories from their respective disciplines. Before I start, I would like to take a minute to actually share a little bit about our school. The Gateway School of Mumbai, we are a school for students with learning difficulties, and this is our 9th academic year. And just like the rest of the world, we are navigating the virtual space. Our vision and mission at the Gateway School is not only to empower our students to become independent, productive, and contributing members of the society, but we are also a lab school, which means we are constantly exploring, adopting, and adapting best practices in the field of education. Our aim is to generate and share learning so all students across India and hopefully around the world can benefit from these best practices. So at Gateway, we look at the child very holistically, and the arts play an important role in the development of a child. The aim of the arts program at the Gateway School is to develop an artistically literate individual who goes out and functions in the 21st century world. And they just don't use arts as a medium to create stuff, but also as a medium of expression. And while they're creating their products, they're purposefully involved in creating the product. Today, our panel will take you through a series of exercises, and those exercises will highlight the role of a child's body in the arts. And the second thing they're going to highlight is the journey and philosophy of the grandstand. We have been hearing this word grandstand. So what exactly is grandstand? And that happens at the Gateway School. And lastly, our guest artist Manish Nai will conclude this webinar with sharing his interesting journey to becoming a professional artist. And I believe that shall encourage parents as well as our students who are here today to look at the arts as a professional career. Now, before we start, a few instructions. This webinar will be conducted in a workshop format, which means it's not just the panelists talking to the audience, but may I first ask everyone to start their cameras, because we want you to be active participants and not passively listening. So can we take a minute for everyone to start their cameras? Second, we all are going to be involved into certain exercises that our panel will ask you to move around, get up from your space, come back to your space, mute yourself, unmute yourself. So please listen to the instructions. Also, keep an eye on what they are showing you, what they are sharing, and listen actively. So without wasting time, let's start. And let me introduce you to the first panelist. So I'm going to first tell you a little bit about her. Our first panelist is Sara Kiesel. Sara has been dancing and teaching children the joy of exploring movements for 25 years now. She received her master's degree in dance studies, and she formerly was working at the Gateway School of New York as a dance specialist and a coordinator of the arts program. So I'm going to hand it over to Sara, and Sara, over to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with you. We're going to begin our exploration of the arts by doing some art, by doing some movement with our body. I'd like you to start warming up your body to get your brain ready for learning by dropping your head forward and slowly and carefully rolling your head around, feeling all those little creaks in your neck from sleeping, and drop your head forward and then roll it gently around the other side. As your head comes up, lift up your shoulders all the way up to your ears. Almost squeeze your shoulders up and then let them drop. One more time, squeeze your shoulders up and let them drop. Now lift one and then the other. First one down and then the other. Up, up, down, down. Now make a big arc with your arm and stretch and reach over to the side, feeling your muscles, feeling the stretch, and make a big rainbow at the top of your space and come around to the other side. Sit up tall and look to your right and switch and look to your left. Spiral your body in your chair. Stand up and move your chair away so you're standing. Stack your blocks and stand very tall. Wiggle your toes and bring your hands to your shoulders. We're going to do 2 exercises with our arms. The first one is simpler. It's one side and then the other of the body. So do this with me. Arm and both together. Do it a little faster because it's easier. Arm and both together. Now I'm going to make it harder for you, and the kids get confused, but they do it too. We're going to do a 4-part exercise. We go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's our shape with that arm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The other arm goes 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Last time, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now we're going to put those movements together using 2 sides of our body differently as we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Very nice. Shake your arms and come back down to your chair. If that was a little complicated, it should be, because you're using 2 parts of your body differently. Now I want to go back. So I want to not share my screen, right? Help me get back to.
You can now share the presentation, Sarah. You can share.
Okay. So I click stop sharing, which I've done, and now.
You can see a green button at the bottom, share screen. You can click there.
Share screen.
Presentation.
PowerPoint. Here we go. Sorry. Okay, now let's go back to the beginning where it should be. And here we go. I'm going to share a quote with you from Elizabeth Friedis, who was the brilliant educator who founded the Gateway Schools. She said, "Children are often deprived of practice in solving problems about their own bodies, problems of balance and of relationship to the things around them. This practice is essential to the mastery of school learning, as well as school behavior." Now, all children, but especially the fortunate ones who come to Gateway, need continual practice in this kind of problem solving with the body. For many of our students, the misperceptions that happen in the classroom, in the hallway, in the gym, and at home lead to so many social issues. We see crashing into each other, rushing around hallways, stepping on toes, talking out of turn. All of these things lead to problems. Gateway understands that everything starts with the body, so that's where we began. I had a little boy in my class years ago, and we were building a wall of soft blocks to jump over and perceive how much height we could go and how far we could jump. This little boy continued to crash the blocks, but insisted that he could go higher and higher. He even insisted that he could jump over the volleyball net that was behind me. I made a quick educational decision and decided to let him try. I piled blocks under him, mats under the net, and I let him run. And of course, I caught him as the net hit his chest. And that was sort of a shocking moment for him. But that was the moment, the first moment that he could realize that he wasn't getting the information he needed, and he needed to start to match his perception to his experience. Let's take another movement break, and let's see how we use our space and our bodies in relationship to our space. So stand up again. Oops, now I have to go back, right? Yeah.
You'll have to stop sharing, Sarah.
I'm gonna get it. Stop share. Here I am. So we're gonna use our chair this time. So I want you to follow the directions that I give you as quickly as you can. So you're standing now behind your chair. Stand to the side of your chair. Go around without touching your chair and stand to the other side of your chair. Stand behind your chair and put your arms on your chair and lean over. Put two hands and your head on your chair. Put 3 body parts on your chair: your foot, your elbow, and your head. Switch around now and sit on your chair with some space around you, and balance on your chair by lifting all of your body parts off your chair and just sitting on your bottom. Can you balance there for the count of 1, 2, 3? Very good. Come on back now. And I'm gonna share the screen. And I'm gonna go back to here and share it. So in that exercise, you were listening, the kids are listening, they're following all the different directions I'm giving them. With the kids, of course, we're going under the chair and over the chair. And we're planning, we're making plans on how to use our body, and we're coordinating our body. In all of these exercises, because the students always face difficulties in many of these perceptions about their body, we're always asking them to judge distance and speed and their own ability. My job as an educator is to notice the misconceptions and slowly shape and extend their behavior and their movement range through the medium of movement. So what happens in class? When we go to work in the morning, we might have a problem or an issue that we're thinking about, but we're pretty much able to get down to business when we get to work. When the kids come into the movement room, they bring in their physical bodies, their emotional turmoils, something that just happened in the hallway. They bring in a loose tooth, a hurt ankle, or a mom who's away on a business trip that they're worried about. They're either overeager to run and rush into the room, or they can't get up and they're just not ready to move at all. I usually meet them in the doorway, and especially with the younger groups, I get down to their level, and with each one, we have a little ritual, and I say to them, I see you. And they say back to me, I am here. And why do I take the time to do this? I do this because I'm making an immediate connection with each child. We're beginning to use language, and we're telling each other that we're present and ready to get to work. I usually get them moving across the floor in many, many ways. Running and stopping at the wall, running and stopping with a drum, skipping and changing over from one side to another, crossing the wall, skipping or galloping with high, high knees. And then I get into more intricate things to get them really thinking and moving at the same time. So let's stand up again and let's do just a few of these. So you're not going to be able to see my feet, but I want you to move to one side of your screen, and I want you to step out with one foot and bring your foot together. Simple. Step together, step together, and come back. Step together, step together, step together. Now let's make it a little more complicated. Let's do step and cross over with your other foot to the front and step together. Now going back this way, step, cross over front, step together. Now let's add another layer and let's do step, cross to the front, step, cross to the back, and step together. Last time, step, step out, cross over to the front, step out, and cross to the back. Very good. Before you sit down, do one more thing with me. Turn your body to the side, put your hands behind so you don't crash anything, and close your eyes. Take away your vision for a minute. First, feel how your balance feels when you take away your vision and your eyes are closed. And now take some steps slowly and carefully backwards. Step, 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 step. Very nice. Open your eyes. I hope you can start to see how all of these different experiences ask different things from the kids' physical systems. A lot of listening, a lot of listening. Okay, I'm going to share screen. And I'm going to share. I'm getting better at that. So after we move across the floor and get all of our big energy out, use our large motor systems, we come to circle. We do standing things in circle, standing forward, stepping forward and back, doing many rhythmic things in the circle, and then we sit down. Do the slide you're seeing is a short movement poem that I do. I do many movement poems with them, and I do them to attach the language to the movement. Attaching the language to the movement. So sitting up tall in your chair, do this one with me. It goes like this. Round over, sit tall. Reach your arms around and look back to the wall. Big stretch in your upper spine. Now contract your upper body and pull yourself in very small. Sit tall. We'll do that very slowly, then we'll speed it up till we can't do it, and it's so fast and we all fall over laughing, but then we'll come back and do it one more time. In all of these experiences, the kids are connecting their movements to language. They are using their vision, they're using all of their senses. They're practicing focus and connection. They're developing their perception and how many times how to inhibit their actions so they make sense with the group. How much can I stretch my arm but not crash into my friend's head? So always moderating and modulating their movements in relationship to others. Now, as we do more and more of these and the kids get bigger, that's when we're really starting to find expression in dance. All of our little studies, our little shape studies, turn into larger ones and more nuanced pieces, and then whole pieces of choreography. We spend a lot of time watching each other, and I there again, I elicit language from the kids. How did she move from one side of the other? Did she go straight? What did she do after she circled? Did she use different levels? Most important, what was her dance about and how did her dance make you feel? I'm asking them to observe. I'm asking them to use language to express what they see and what they feel, and of course, how to be a good audience member. Now this work is performed, this work is performed at our arts festivals and at our amazing musical theater performances. The kids actually take a lot of the work that they do in class and do the choreography for these performances. And we, of course, we collaborate all year with the teachers on integrating what they're learning through the year. The expressive arts, as far as I'm concerned, they ask us to reach inside of ourselves and become more than who we are. They're a vital tool for learning. Gateway's emphasis on the arts is really a model for teaching our kids for the future. And I'm very proud to be part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. I think what I really took away from this, and I would like to highlight the philosophy of the Gateway School of New York, that the learning starts from the body, is so evident into our programs and what the child learns in the arts program. Carrying this philosophy from the Gateway School of New York, the same philosophy is applied into different settings at the Gateway School of Mumbai. And one such setting is the grandstand. Now you are wondering, what is the grandstand? So exactly my next panelist, Ridhika Shah, is going to tell us about what the grandstand is, and let's see what she has for us. But before, let me introduce Ridhika to you. Ridhika holds a master's degree in speech language pathology, and along with her private practice as a speech language therapist, she currently works as a grandstand teacher and expert at the Gateway School of Mumbai. So before I hand it over to Ridhika, I have a small note for the audience. We are taking questions at the end of the webinar. So if you have any questions for any of our panelists in the order, you can put them in the chat, and please mention to whom are you addressing the question to. We will address those questions at the end. Ridhika, I'm handing over to you.
Hey. Hey. Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey,
Hey, hey, hey.
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 Hey. Good job, guys. I'm going to be talking to you about grandstand today. Keep yourselves on mute, but on different occasions, I will be asking you to unmute yourself so that you can participate. Just a few things to remember. Everyone, listening ears on. Let me see you putting on your listening ears. Super job. And if you're sitting like this, sit up tall with stacked blocks, eyes on me. And remember, I'm going to be checking to see if you're listening. Everyone, if you're still with me, stand up. And sit down. Stand up. And sit down. Stand up and get ready in running position in 3, 2, 1. Run and freeze. 3, 2, 1. Running. and freeze. Now we're taking a walk, just a walk. I'm walking, freeze, sit down. If you're still listening to me, hands on your head. Good job, you guys. I see that everyone's listening. If you're still listening to me, give me your biggest smile. What lovely smiles. And if you're still listening to me, show me a thumbs up. Okay, looks like we're ready to go. Let me start with a story. It was a stormy night, and the next day the windows were out. A few men came to fix the windows. The founder of Gateway, New York, Elizabeth Friedis, got all her children to sit in a semicircle and had the children observe the men, interact with them by asking questions and comments, and be a part of this real life experience. And this was how Grandstand was born, a space where they built on metacognitive and metalinguistic skills, which is the ability to reflect and act on thinking about one's language and thoughts. Many of our children have social anxiety, difficulties in expression and communication, and even find it challenging to work with each other. Often, they're also not exposed to many social spaces. And that's why at Gateway Mumbai, we have a grandstand where we bring together a diverse community of students to share, enjoy, and communicate with each other in a social way. It is a social safe space where they build community spirit and confidence while interacting with each other. This is a space where they learn from each other by collaborating and apply all the 21st century skills that we teach them to find solutions to challenges and situations they face while working with each other and the community at large. A platform where they can express
Hello.
their voice
हाँ
actively.
सर.
All this to try and transition them into the real world and set them up to be active, confident, and expressive participants. Today, I'm going to take you through an experience of a few elements of Grandstand. If you're still listening to me, put your hands up. Super job, and copy me. Excellent. I love how you guys are copying me. Looks like everyone is with me. And that's step one. Always get their attention through nonverbal hand actions, mimes, and vocal routines. It really helps them to refocus and helps our children transition from one step to another. Here's our agenda for the lower school grandstand. First, we're going to do a ball game, then a movement, and finally, the Who's Hungry game. Are you guys ready? Super. Let's see. Everyone, I have a ball with me. Get ready in position to catch the ball. I'm waiting for everyone. Ooh, looks like everyone's ready. The ball might come through here or through here. I love how you guys are following me. And in 3, 2, 1, catch. Nice work, guys. That was really good. At Gateway, we always start with the body. Our kids have a difficulty understanding their body in space, and that's why movement is so important. Exactly this is where they find it difficult, and the movement helps them to get ready and regulated, and also helps them focus and attend to the task. If you're still with me, I want everyone, hands out. Let's see. Nice work, guys. Love that everyone's hands are out, and we're going side and side. We're being an airplane and flying in the sky. And now, hands ready? It's time to be a submarine. We're going down, down, underwater, down. Good job. We're waiting underwater. I love how you guys are waiting underwater. When I say up, we'll all be coming back up. In 3, 2, 1, up, 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 up. Excellent job waiting, guys. Hands on the steering wheel. And we're going right and left and going forward. I'm driving, and in 3, 2, 1, I'm braking. That's awesome. Good job, cars. And we're coming back and getting super ready. All our children have challenges with auditory processing, which means that if I'm talking and talking and talking and going on and talking and on and on and on, all this information goes right above their heads, and they find it so challenging to register, process, and comprehend this information, which is why, as teachers and therapists, the toughest but most important part is to keep language as minimal as possible. And to remember that adding movements makes learning so much easier for the child. It helps the children stay engaged, and it helps in processing of all this language. All this information is making me so hungry. Who's ready to make the world's best sandwich? Show me a thumbs up. Nice work. Okay, so everyone following Ridhika, please. First, let's take the bread. And now, I'm applying the butter. Nice work applying the butter. And I'm looking for one person to unmute themselves, looking for a quiet hand first, for something to add in the sandwich. Something to add in the sandwich. Yes, Miss Aditi, I like the quiet hand. Miss Aditi, can you unmute yourself, please? Yes? Tomatoes. I want to add tomatoes.
I want to add tomatoes.
Amazing. Thank you for saying that in a full sentence. Can you show us how?
I'm going to take a tomato and I'm going to begin slicing it. I'm then going to pick up the slice and add it to my bread like that.
Nice work. Let me see who's listening to their friends. Let's see someone with a quiet hand. What did Miss Aditi just say? Yes, Miss Sarah.
She said that she's going to add a slice of tomato and then add it to the bread.
I love how you're listening to your friends. Everyone doing it together. We're going to slice the tomatoes, add it to the bread, put the next slice of bread, and your sandwich is ready to eat in one big bite. Ah, super. I love how you guys are listening, watching your friends. So good. We have a diverse population with different developmental levels. Hence, we need to create different objectives for all our children. It could just be sitting through a class or an older kid actually leading a class. That's why the need to differentiate language for everyone. Models need to be given according to the child's language levels. Some children might only be able to label. It's so important to expand on the language that they use. Learning language from other children is a powerful tool. Like I said, everyone watch what Miss Aditi is doing and saying and tell me. It's also very helpful to use language to problem solve. Show me how you like the tomatoes, or oops, Miss Sarah doesn't like tomatoes. What should we do? In the same way, all our children also have difficulty waiting for their turn. And it's really important to add structures so that they learn how to wait. And children also find it very difficult to sustain listening through the entire class. Structures for active listening make them more accountable for their own learning. What I just did right now. Everyone listening to Miss Aditi, and after that, I'm going to ask one friend to tell me what she just did. With this, I conclude our agenda for the lower school grandstand. The ball game is done, movement done, who's hungry game is done. And now let's move into a quick snapshot of our high school grandstand. Everyone, first we're going to do a whole group movement, then a whole group sharing, and finally team planning. All right, if you're listening to me, first I want you to snap your fingers, then play the drums, and finally do your favorite dance move and freeze. Go. And freeze. Amazing, guys. I'm loving this. So good. Shows me that y'all are still with me. As you can see, we've moved into more multi-step instructions, more complex language, lesser visuals. As our kids get older, they've acquired more skills, and it's important to differentiate the language for themselves as well. Now, it's time for whole group sharing. I'm going to look for one person who will unmute themselves and share. We're going to talk about right now I'm feeling dash and why, and also I'm wondering if. Everyone, get super ready and show me your quiet hands. Who's ready to share? Oh, I see Miss Sarah's ready. Miss Aditi is ready. Looking for more quiet hands, guys. Look at how they're ready. And Miss Ritu, can you unmute yourselves and tell us? Right now I'm feeling.
Right now, I am feeling engaged.
And can you tell us why?
Because there are so many things to do.
Ooh, right now she's feeling engaged because there's so much to do. Okay, moving on to the next one. I'm wondering, right now I'm wondering, looking for someone with a quiet hand. Yes, Miss Shilpa, please unmute yourself and tell us.
Right now, I'm wondering, when do I get to see you?
Ooh, Miss Shilpa is missing me and she's wondering when she's going to get to see me. Anyone has any questions or comments for Miss Shilpa? Looking for a quiet hand. Questions or comments for Miss Shilpa? Yes, Josie. Unmute yourself and please share.
You're seeing her right now.
Oh, Miss Josie is saying you're looking at Miss Ridhika right now. That was a great comment. Super job, guys. Sharing time is finished. Thank you, Miss Josie. And let's move on. Class. Yes.
Yes.
Class, class.
Yes.
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 Class.
Yes,
Yes.
Super. Looks like you guys are with me. With our older kids, we often explore various immersive and experiential projects. Research is a key element of our team projects. We teach them how to brainstorm and discuss topics, and also teach them how to break down their research topics and still stay true to the main idea. We have them interview real life sources to get authentic information and have them delegate roles and responsibilities so that each child can be accountable for their own piece. We finally also teach them to create their own organizational structures for organizing all that information that comes their way. Another big piece for our kids is problem solving. We leverage our teachers who use language through think alouds, which is basically speaking aloud what we're thinking to help the children navigate and strategize through various problems. We also help them face real life problems with real life results, where they learn that the result could go this way or that, but we try and equip them to acquire skills to cope with these results. Here are a few examples of a few projects that we have done. This is We Are the World, the Bombay Project. These were immersive and experiential processes for understanding the culture and history of our city and world. The end result, all the children sharing through various mediums and their body. This is the Filmmakers Club. Have a look. Our children also have a difficulty with expression and emotions, and these projects give us a chance to explore these areas. We try and pick projects where their involvement in the process broadens their understanding into these subjects and opens up their world for future life experiences and possibilities. And with this, we're done with our high school agenda. Lower school and high school grandstand happens 2 times a week for 45 minutes each. I'd like to conclude by saying that as a speech language therapist who works with children one-on-one and in small groups, having a platform like Grandstand is so valuable because it provides opportunities of collaboration for children of different abilities and helps them to acquire skills to cope with their world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ridhika. Like we always believe at Gateway, that grandstand is nothing about the space, but it's about the philosophy of expression. And that's the reason Ridhika could so easily adopt grandstand to the virtual mode of learning. And now that we know what's grandstand, let's learn what happens in the drama program at the Gateway School of Mumbai. So my next panelist, Miss Aditi Dalal. So I'll tell you a little bit about Aditi. Aditi graduated with a degree in psychology from St. Xavier's College, Mumbai, and she received a distinction at grade 8 in speech and drama, and she holds an Associate Trinity College London Diploma in Communication Skills. She currently teaches drama across all the sections at the Gateway School of Mumbai. Aditi, over to you.
Thank you, Abhishek. For the next segment, I'd request everyone to please put on your videos so you can participate, and you can keep your audios on mute. Let's go. Drama is a collaborative form of performing art that uses live performers, which is going to be all of us today, to present an experience before an audience. And I think it makes for a great tool for expression. Drama is a space that allows for emotional exploration, where students, performers, anyone can express themselves without judgment. For those of us who might feel a little inhibited to express freely, drama allows for characters through whom we can tell our stories. It also gives a platform for every voice to be heard. So here we have a platform, but what if I'm not a good speaker? What if I have anxiety about my body? What if I'm not confident to express my views in front of 5 other people? Drama works wonderfully here because these are also some questions that our kids at Gateway battle with. Drama provides multiple mediums of expression, which means a child can choose between expressing himself through words, just sharing their stories verbally, or using their bodies to express, and also using different objects from their environment as props and costumes to add to how they showcase themselves. The drama class is also a multi-sensory experience. The students are constantly listening, looking, touching, feeling, and moving. And this helps us cater to a wide and diverse range of students with different learning styles. By engaging with the drama program over the years, the students are exposed to different approaches to the subject. They can then choose between using their bodies to express, some like longer spoken pieces to express how they're feeling, others tend more towards research, and some also take to writing and directing performance pieces. Basically, there's something in it for everyone. Now let's try a little exercise ourselves. I'm going to express some things using just my face. I'd like you to watch my face, and then in the chat box, put down whatever words come to your mind when you look at me. There are no right responses here. It can invoke different responses in different people. So feel free to put down whatever it is that comes to your mind. Let's go. The first one. You can put whatever comes to your mind in the chat. And the next one. And the next one. Excellent. So I can see some different kinds of responses in the chat. Lovely. Now it's time for you to try express yourselves using your face. I'm going to call out some words. When you hear the word, feel free to use your face in whatever way you like to show me what that word means to you or how you feel. The first word is, we can take the spotlight off me so everyone's faces are seen. And the first word is excited. And freeze. And angry. Sad. Confused. Sleepy. Bored. And hopefully that's not what you're feeling just now. You can come back to a neutral face and we'll move on. Here's what the drama program at Gateway looks like. We spend a lot of time in class introducing the kids to theory and techniques of the subject, which they then use to create their original work. This is very important to ensure that the teaching learning process isn't just one-way information sharing, but that the kids also get a chance to apply the skills and knowledge that they've learned. Towards the end of the year, we also work towards a production. This is a more intense and immersive experience where the students come together to work on a single product, which they then showcase in front of an audience. The drama program also collaborates a lot. The two big collaborations are with the speech and language team, where we have therapists come in to work on specific speech clarity needs of certain students. And we also work with Grandstand, where the students take content from the drama class and turn it into intensive research projects, where they come together to find out more information and background knowledge about what they're performing. A recent development in the drama program has been using drama as a teaching tool. Here, drama goes into academic classes where teachers are then empowered to use it to teach their own subjects. One such drama tool is called freeze frames, and we're now going to try that for ourselves. A freeze frame is when you use your body to create a still image. So it's like a snapshot of a moment that's been captured. To create a freeze frame, you'll all need to stand up and create some space around you. And you can use your body in any way you like. So you can move and then freeze. And move and then freeze. I'm going to call out some situations and I'd like you to move and create a freeze frame as a response to these situations. Remember that your response is unique to you, so feel free to express however you like. Let's go. The first one is, how do you feel when a loved one surprises you? Show it to me using your body. And freeze. How did you feel when the national lockdown was announced? And freeze. How do you feel when it's pouring heavily outside your window? And freeze. How do you feel when the internet stops working? And freeze. And finally, express whatever it is that you're feeling in this moment. And freeze. That was lovely. Thank you everyone for participating. You can come back to your chairs. Here's a freeze frame that our students had created in their humanities class. They were studying the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, which was an important event in the Indian freedom struggle. And after learning about the incident, they thought of the different characters and people that might have been there in that event and took their positions and created this. Now, this is a powerful tool, not only because you can see the event visually, but because the children are now kinesthetically with their bodies connecting to what had happened, which makes them more empathetic. The learning philosophy at Gateway, like the others before me have shared, is that learning begins with the body. So, and even so in the drama program, our younger kids especially work a lot with exploring their bodies and the space around them. They also work with different material in school that gives them different kinds of sensory input. And once their bodies are ready to learn, only then is more content and text-heavy work introduced. Because this structure of using the body is so ingrained in our teaching learning system, the transition to virtual learning was smooth. Students continue to find spaces in their homes where they could use their bodies to express themselves in different ways. They also looked around their homes for different materials that they could use to help tell them. I'll show you an example of one student who, in the lack of physical presence of his peers, created this role play using a simple prop and 2 chairs.
Would you like to play with me? Yes! At 5 o'clock. Okay, see you. Bye! Would you like to play?
I'd like to end with the story of this one particular student in my class. 2 years ago, she was more reserved and didn't participate much when we did physical work in class. She was anxious about how she used her body to express. Through conversations that I had with her and by slowly nudging her, she began to participate in class. A breakthrough in her journey came when she was given this character who was very brave and very strong that she had to portray on stage for a school production. Now, when you're playing a character, you don't just learn their lines and deliver them, but you also try to physically embody the character and get into their skin. To do this, she now had to put her shoulders back, stand up tall, and use a nice, strong voice to project across stage to command respect from her co-actors. By embodying this character day after day for 6 months, these physical traits of the character somewhere became part of the person that she is. She carried this embodiment along with her. And today, during virtual learning, I've seen her freely express herself. She uploads videos of herself doing different kinds of things at home, uses her body very openly, and is very open to sharing this with her peers for them to review. This, to me, is the power of using the body. Thank you.
Aditi, thank you so much for not just highlighting what's the power of drama, but I think just the connections of how you can take drama into the academic class to make amazing things happen. Now that we have learned about what role does the body play in movement, in the grandstand, and now in drama, let's learn about the music program and how does the music program integrate the role of the body and towards creative expression. So my next panelist is our very own music teacher, Sara D'Souza. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Sara. Sara has 7 years of experience teaching Western vocals to children as well as adults. She has been assistant vocal coach on musical productions such as Grease and The Sound of Music at the NCPA Mumbai. She has completed her B.Ed in Special Education from SNDT University, and currently she teaches music across all sections at the Gateway School of Mumbai. Over to you, Sara.
Thank you, Abhishek. Everyone, before we start, I know that some of you may have a little inhibition, may not want to sing in front of everyone. So let's gather all your inhibitions, all your worries, and unmute yourselves, throw them out the window. Ooh. Okay, now let's unmute ourselves and do the same thing. I want to hear your lovely high voices and then sliding down to a low note. Gather. That was amazing, everyone. I love seeing all of you throw all your inhibitions out. Okay, now over the next 10 minutes to experience this in the whole presentation, I would like you all to mute and unmute yourselves as I share instructions with you. Now, for our first exercise, I want you to look at the months on the screen. If you're born in Jan to March, your team red, and you will sing the first line after me. If you're born in April to June, your team blue, and you sing the second line. If you're born from July to September, your team green, you sing the third line. And if you're born from October to December, your team yellow, and you sing the fourth line. Okay, everybody listening first, singing after me. So I want everyone who's born in Jan, Feb, and March to unmute themselves and listening, then singing. Walking through the raindrops. Let's hear you. Walking through the raindrops. Superb, that was lovely. Next month, steam. Splashing in the paddles. Unmute and sing. Splashing in the paddles. Wonderful. Next steam. Listening, then singing. Jumping in the gutters. Singing. Jumping in the gutters. And the last team, listening, then singing. Let's hope we don't get wet. Together. Let's hope we don't get wet. Now, everybody, remember your lines. Take one quick glance and remember your lines. Now, everyone's going to unmute themselves. And I want to see your expression about how you feel about the rain. Some of you may like to splash and jump in the rain. Some of you don't want to go out in the rain. It's horrible, it's wet, it's sticky. I want to see that on your face and hear it in your voice when you sing. And we're ready. In 3, unmuting yourselves in 2, and singing with me in 1. Walking through the raindrops, splashing in the puddles, jumping in the gutters. Let's hope we don't get wet. Superb. Now, everyone, one more quick exercise. Let's get up from our chairs, find something behind you, and if you have an umbrella or if you have a pretend umbrella, I want you to hold it over your head. If you like getting wet in the rain, maybe you'll tilt it slightly so that you can get some raindrop splash. If you don't like getting wet, cover yourself completely. Don't allow any the rain to drop on you. And let's sing together in 3. And we want to jump and splash and walk with lots of energy. Or if you don't like the rain, then you want to, why am I doing this exercise? I don't want to do it. Okay, let me see it through your whole body. In 3, in 2, in 1. Walking through the rain, splashing in the puddle, jumping in the puddle. Let's hop way down it wet. That was amazing. Everyone back to your chairs, and you can mute yourselves in 3, mute yourselves in 2, and in 1. One of the major focus areas of our music program is on emotional wellness and expression. This tune that we just sang was a calming and happy tune, and it allowed for everyone to express whatever they were feeling. No one had to express one particular emotion. I didn't say everyone sing in a happy voice. You sing how you're feeling at the time. Singing helps a lot of our students feel relaxed, and listening to music and singing is so important, especially for our students, because a lot of them have high anxiety and find it difficult to express themselves using words. So singing or playing an instrument is an alternate way to express what they're feeling. Also, a lot of our students have reduced lung capacity or speech difficulties or motor difficulties, so they can't all participate in the same way. In such situations, we differentiate by giving a student a percussion instrument or asking them to hum or tap their lap to participate in an activity like this. Okay, everyone, we are now going to see the difference between rhythm and beat. Now, see here, the raindrops on the screen tell me the beat. Listening. 1, 2.
चाय का तुम लोगों ने रखे ही नहीं ना आखिर में चले गए बिना चाय के कम से कम ठंडे क्लाइमेट में बॉडी तो वार्म करके जाते
We ask everyone to mute, please.
So what we're going to do now is I want everybody, hands on your lap, tap your lap, okay? So we're going to tap your lap to 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The beat is steady and it always stays steady. It gives us the time of the whole music piece. Now, we're also going to see what rhythm is. Now, if you see these claps, clap, 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 clap. Walking through the raindrops. Walking through the raindrops. The rhythm is the pattern of the sounds. Walking, they're short sounds. Through is a long sound. The raindrops are short sounds again. Rhythm, pattern of the sounds. Beat, steady like a clock. Now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I want everybody, based on what you are more comfortable with, unmute yourselves and either do the beat or the rhythm. Let's go in 3, in 2, in 1. Walking through the raindrops. Walking through the raindrops. Or if you're doing the beat, walking through the raindrops. Walking through the raindrops. That was great. And I'm going to tell you one more thing. The rhythm and the beat work together to give us the full effect of the song. And right now, what you did was you worked together as a group to create the full effect of this sound. Empowering students to work in groups and contribute in their own way is a school vision, and we work on this in music classes as well. Turn taking, like what we did in the first exercise. team red, team blue, team yellow, team green, turn taking, supporting each other, and respecting each other helps us all feel united, accepted, and safe. And we want to make all spaces a safe space for our students. We want to also ensure multiple means of contributing to a group so that every student feels successful. Some of you are more comfortable with doing the beat, some were more comfortable doing the rhythm. Maybe some of you just wanted to chant the words or tap your feet, and all of that is okay, as long as you are engaging and expressing yourself. And research shows that students who feel like they belong to a group are much more likely to put in more effort and learn more. We're going to do one more exercise, and I need everyone to unmute yourselves. Unmute yourselves in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. We're going to take this one line. Keep it in your mind. Let's hope we don't get wet. We're just going to work on this one line, and we're going to sing it at different dynamics. Can you all say dynamics?
Dynamics.
Now, when we learn music, super job, guys. When we learn music, we don't say volume when we want to increase or decrease the volume of a song. We say we'll sing it at different dynamics. So we're gonna sing it loud or we'll sing it soft. And I want all of you to follow my hands and sing this one line with different dynamics. Let's start. 3, 2, 1. Let's hope we don't get wet.
Let's hope we don't get wet.
Now soft.
Let's hope we don't get wet.
Louder.
Let's hope we don't get wet.
Now your loudest voice.
Let's hope we don't get wet.
Incredible, everyone did such a good job. And why am I telling you about dynamics? Well, another focus of our music program is on skills and technique. Right now, I exposed you to a technical term, and together we used it in a song that we already learned. Many of our students have immense musical talents and skills, and for those students, we aim to nurture those skills and showcase them and provide opportunities such as letting them perform in concerts, in showcases, in grandstand, in even like tiny virtual concerts online these days. But what about the students who struggle to sing or struggle to copy a short rhythm and play it back? They may enjoy music as well, and so we want them to feel like they are contributing and that they are part of the group. So, but maybe they enjoy being participants rather than right in front of everyone performing. For some of our students, we give them opportunities to research about the evolution of music. Where did music come from? What were the first instruments? How have instruments changed over the years? Some of our students even do research to find backing tracks for songs that we're going to sing. And some of our students find background music to put into drama productions or other productions in school. At the end of the day, no matter what the outcome is, as a music educator for children with special needs, it is essential to provide multiple ways in which a student can express themselves, participate in classes, and feel successful based on their interests, their skill, and their passion. Now, before we hand over to Abhishek, let's thank the many body parts that helped us participate today. Thank you, brain. You helped me learn the words and the tune. Thank you, voice. You helped me sing so sweetly and express my emotion. And thank you, hands, for helping me with the rhythm and the beat and holding the umbrella. Good job, everyone. And now we're back to Abhishek.
That was lovely. Thank you, Miss Sara. I think it's so important for us to also learn beyond the benefits of music, how it can be integrated into these different areas. And thank you so much for enlightening us with that. Now for my next discipline, I'm going to take you through an exercise, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about visual arts. And then we are directly going to jump into our interview with our guest artist, Manish. So before I start, I want everyone to move one arm away from their cameras. So make sure that your laptop camera, you are one arm away from the camera, and you also have one arm space on either sides of your body. And while you do that, stack your blocks, which means sit straight, sit upright. Show me both your hands. Your hands are next to your head and your ear, and start stretching your fingers in and out, in and out, in and out. While you do this, interlace your fingers and give a nice stretch to your body. Go to your right and go to your left. Come back at the center, shoulders, ears, head, ears, shoulder, nose, head, shoulder, head, nose. You must be wondering, Mr. Abhishek is a visual arts teacher. Why is he making me do a warm-up? How does the body play a role in the visual arts? Well, that's exactly my point here. And before I jump to my presentation, that's what I wanted to tell you guys, that the body is the most important part at the Gateway School of Mumbai. A child starts learning with their body. So, as you see in my presentation over here, I imagine the child's body with the metaphor of a superhero. Now, why do I say that? A superhero, before they save the world and go on their task, they have to get up, put on his cloak, put on the outfit, and then they fly off. Same way, a child artist has to have ready hands and a ready body. Now, this term is familiar with all our students at the Gateway School of Mumbai. This is a requirement before they actually dive in, before every class, before they dive into doing any kind of artistic activity. So ready hand and ready body is something that I got everyone to do right now. Now, to prove my next point, what I always say is the visual arts are too a multisensory experience, which means when a child is engaged into doing art or making any kind of artistic product or an exercise, they're actively engaged with their eyes. They're looking at the material, they're looking at the colors, they're looking at their equipment, smelling and the sense of smell with material, with paints. Not just the smell while they're working, but a lot of our children, because of their needs, they're inclined to certain smells. They work with certain paints because they enjoy the smell and not the color, or maybe the other way around. A lot of our children, they work on the tactile sense. So while you are manipulating material in the art class, when you're folding something, you're cutting something, you're painting something, you're constantly making those decisions of choosing the material and using your hands. And of course, your auditory senses, which means not just hearing instructions from the teacher, but also listening to what feedback is the material giving me. When a paper brushes against something, the sound that the paintbrush makes against the material, the texture touching this texture, listening to that, listening to their peers about what kind of feedback they get, also responding back to that feedback. Now, these are senses that we all know, and I have shown you over here how they are engaged. But there are two other important senses, or rather systems, that also play a huge role in the arts class. The first being the vestibular system, which is a system that provides information to the inner ear of a child. Now, this is so important for a child. This system informs the child how they keep their head in connection or in tandem with their body. How do they position their head while they are working on their desk? When do they lift the head? When they have an auditory input from a friend or teacher, in which direction do they move their head? And also to sit upright while they're working without leaning. And the second system is the proprioceptive system, which allows the child to navigate in the physical space, which means right at the beginning of this exercise, I asked you to move one arm away from the laptop. The reason I did that, because I was going to ask you to move your hands. So you were emotionally and cognitively being connected to your physical space. So the proprioceptive system actually tells a child the relation of their body in the space that they're sitting. So these senses are so important even before you get to the actual art exercise. Now, we have seen how the arts are multisensory in nature. Can I request everyone to please mute yourself? Thank you. Okay, so like I was saying, the arts are a multisensory experience. But how does this look at the Gateway School of Mumbai? If the arts are just multisensory, how does the pedagogy look? How does the program look like? So in the arts program, we don't see the creative process in isolation. Any unit that the child learns, it's looked as a problem statement, which means it's presented as a problem which the child responds or solves using different mediums, material, modes of expression. Now, when a child is presented with a problem, of course, the first thing that they would need is art equipment, tools and materials, which are your paintbrushes, easels, pencils, and then the medium of expression that they choose. A lot of our children like to work with clay. Like I said, it gives them that sensory input, or for that matter, different kind of painting with the hand or painting with a brush, depending on what tactile feedback really works with an individual child. The second important thing that a child engages towards that problem solving process is their body and their senses. And the last thing that they engage are the skills. So a lot of times when we think about the visual arts or for matter arts, we only think about the skills in isolation, that it's building certain skill, it's engaging the child in a skill building process. But let me tell you, the skills and the habits of mind, which are studio practices, like being flexible with material, showcasing open-mindedness to try new things, those are essential things, one among these three things. And these three things constitute what I call the process. And like we said, the process takes prevalence over anything at the Gateway School of Mumbai. And together, these three things lead us to the art product, the final product. So now I have shown you the process and how does this look at the Gateway School of Mumbai. What I'm going to do is, before I share my next slide, I asked you guys to carry some material. I don't know, show me a thumbs up if you guys are carrying some objects and some tools. Are you guys carrying some objects, smaller objects? Lovely. So those who are carrying it, I'll show you. So first thing that you would need, if you guys have a book around, a book, any kind of notebook, a smaller book will do. I don't know if everyone will have an aluminum foil, a food wrapping foil. A newspaper or a simple loose paper will also do. So I am going to give you a problem to build a human face. A human face will have the face, of course, the eyes, the ears, the nose, and the mouth. So let's see, how would you do that? And you can do this with me. So first, you actually put your book on your table. Get your aluminum foil or your newspaper and tear it into a size that is bigger than the book. Now what you do, you wrap the book with the foil or the newspaper. And you bring the shiny side in the front. This is going to be the base for my face, okay? I have some other smaller objects that I got over here. I have some clips. I have keys over here. I have two caps from a glue stick. And I have some cotton that I found. Now, mind you, all these objects are things that I did not buy. All these were available at home. So I'm going to try and play around to see how I can build a small face. So the first thing, I also have a cable over here. It's a USB cable. So I'm going to be wrapping it around here. let me see. The first thing that comes to my mind is maybe for the mouth. I'll put it here. Because these are round, maybe for the eyes. I also have some clips maybe for the nose. Oh, but I think I want to change this. So maybe I can use these for the nose. And I have some cotton swabs over here, maybe for the eyebrows. Oh, this paper clips can actually go as hair. And the keys for the eyes. But actually, maybe let me try and put both these lids as the eyes. And one of the keys as the nose. Ah, what can I use the cotton for? Maybe the hair, but I already have the clips over here. Oh, maybe the beard. Or not the beard, maybe a mustache. You guys saw me doing this, and you guys can try this. Now, why did I show you this? There's a reason I showed you this. What I want to show you in my next slide is the model that we saw earlier, the art equipment, tools and materials and medium with the senses and with the habits of mind. How do they translate into the virtual learning now? Because the school is happening online via Zoom. So let's take an example of my middle schoolers. The problem that I gave you, I gave them the same problem. Can they use the materials or objects that they have at home right now? Because everyone doesn't have the same art materials at home. And can they build a human face, which is a 3D collaged face? So let's see, what does the medium look like? So we chose inspiration from an artist, Hannah Piven, who's an Israeli artist, and he actually collects all waste material to create 3D collage portraits. And who else than an artist who himself does that can be a better inspiration for our children? We all know right now via the virtual mode of learning, and right now even you sitting across the screens, you're engaging all your senses that we discussed earlier, and it becomes in fact more challenging for a child to work in this setting. And of course, it is a little challenging. It takes you in a zone of unpredictability. So you had to push yourself, go looking for objects, look for whatever you found, and then you challenge your brain to actually flexibly put it together to solve that challenge. I'm going to leave you with the works that my middle schoolers created in the first 2 months of virtual schooling. So these are certain outcomes of the 3D collage portraits by my middle schoolers. And on that note, I conclude my presentation that artistic expression in the visual arts doesn't need expensive material. What really matters is you expressing your ideas, and the visual arts are multisensory too. Thank you. That brings us towards the end of our webinar today, and I would want to open the next 5 to 6 minutes for any questions that the audience might have for any of our panelists. You can either put it in the chat box or you can unmute yourself and ask. But please address the question to the person and caller then me. Any questions? Rudri, any questions?
Yeah, I have one that I have posted you on the private chat, so you'll be able to see.
Okay, I think there's the history channel one. Is that from Nirali? Sorry, is that the one?
No, just right now, just recently, if you go all the way towards the bottom, there's one question. I mean, I've put all of them together.
Can you read out the question to me, please?
Oh, yes, surely. So the question is, in what ways has online learning modified your teaching? What has been the best or positive outcomes for you? And this question is for both Sarah and you.
Okay. Sarah, you want to go first or should I start?
You start, Abhishek. Thank you.
I think I have two observations. First is, as teachers, of course, it cannot happen without the support of parents. So that's something we have to be very aware of. Their parents are on the other side. We are the instruction medium right now. So working very closely with the parents is very essential for online learning. Second, we have to take the learning a little step behind and first focus on the child's emotional well-being right now. So making sure that, just like we said, their body is ready, that emotionally and mentally they are ready to sit across on the other side of the screen and be a part of the class without you pushing them the content through the class. So that shouldn't be our focus. We should take a step back and first ensure that the child is ready, which means if you have an hour of class, making sure the first 10 minutes go into just building that rapport, checking on the child, understanding where they are in the present situation on that particular day. And the third important thing that I feel is, as teachers, maybe we were not trained or equipped to teach via this mode of learning. So there's always going to be challenges. So the most challenging part has, for me, especially for visual arts, is not having a studio set up and children not having material at home. But we still have managed to work with giving them flexibility of using newspapers, objects, glue stick, making paste at home, if we don't have glue. So that kind of giving that flexibility to the children. And also instructions. We have to bring down our instructions. It has to be a lot of visuals. It has to be presentations. It has to be a lot of pictures, videos. So you talk less and the child sees and learns and then you model. I hope I answered that question. Sarah?
Yes. Thank you for your question. Actually, I'll just share about a few things a few changes. One of the focus areas when we started planning for this academic year, we knew that we were going to be starting school through a virtual mode. So the way that I designed our first unit so that it could be easily adapted to the virtual world of learning. Which meant that now, we know a lot of students don't have instruments at home. They may not be able to get instruments, and that shouldn't be an expectation. So we're using tools that have online instruments. There are a lot of websites which are free instruments that you can play online. So developing that in students, teaching them. We spend a lot of time just teaching how to use new tools. I think the first whole month of school involved us teaching the students how to use Zoom, teaching them how to maneuver, how to share their screen, using all the new websites and apps that we're using to make music. Also, like Abhishek said, we've taken to using visuals a lot more. I honestly, in the last year, I never used too many visuals because we had instruments around us. We were using them, touching them, playing with different material. But now I'm using PPTs, also trying to find different ways where students can share their work. There are a lot of tools that are available. As a school, we use Seesaw. We're also using Google Forms and surveys. We've created listening journals for the students where they listen to a song and then fill in this form which tells us how much they have understood about a song. So just fill in the name. What genre of music is it? What was the rhythm like? What was the tempo like? What did the words of the music make you feel? And another focus area right now is just the students to talk about what they're going through. Where one of the units is where students just share personal stories, but through music. So we're writing, high school students are writing their own songs related to what they're going through right now. Some of them are saying that I'm stuck, I'm trapped, I'm dying to meet my friends. Some of them are saying, oh goodness, I'm so happy I don't have to travel so far away to school. So different feelings are coming out, and we're using whatever the students are going through to help them express through music. And I hope that answers your question right now.
Thank you so much for everyone, and thank you so much for the audience who's here. I hope you find this session informative, and you can take away a lot of tools. You're free to connect with us in the post-COVID new world. You're welcome to visit the Gateway School of Mumbai and meet us in person.
New normal.
Let's stay connected. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.